Hi everyone, my name is Subhashit and welcome to my discussion post. For this discussion, I will be providing a thorough walkthrough of a virtual simulation game which is Players Unknown Battleground, also abbreviated as PUBG. But before we dive into the game and its features, let's first talk about what exactly is a virtual reality and how it is different from the augmented reality. So, augmented reality is the real-time use of information in the form of text, graphics, audio, and other virtual enhancements integrated with the real world. However, it is not in the case of virtual reality. Virtual reality is one next logical step after augmented reality. It is a reality where lines of age, gender, ethnicity, and even humanity are blurred. VR will make you feel like you are in a new reality, mentally and physically. You turn your head, and the world turns with you. So the illusion created by whatever world you are in is never lost. So now let's dive into our game. The game starts fairly simple in an interface we call lobby in the gaming language, where you can invite your friends to play together, or you can access the world chat feature where you can find random people across your server to chat with and you can invite them to play together. So when you start the game, you can see the game starts with almost 100 players landing from the plane to different locations of the island. As we can see on the map, the island has all the real life features like terrains, mountains, houses, and water bodies, which gives a player an immersive experience each time they play. Most importantly, PUBG stands out due to its realistic physics, which adds depth to the gameplay. The game incorporates gun recoil, which means each weapon behaves differently, requiring players to learn and control their aim. Gravity affects bullets, making long range combat more challenging and realistic, as players must account for bullet drop. The damage is well designed, with different weapons and body armors affecting the rate at which player is eliminated. Moreover, vehicles also follow realistic physics with factors like speed, terrain, and impact damage. Moreover, the realistic surroundings, including destructible objects, dynamic weather changes, and terrain based movement, make the experience feel even more authentic, realistic, and immersive for a player. Also, when you are playing the game, you can hear the footsteps of the enemies nearby, and they differ with the location of the enemy. Like if they're walking on different surfaces or multiple people are walking around, then you will hear the sound differently, giving you a real life experience. For example, so I'll just turn the game sound on. So just put on your headphones and hear the game sound carefully. So now you can hear that when I drove past the building, you can hear the footsteps from the building. So now I know that there are enemies in the building. So for the better understanding of their position, I waited and listened to the sound cues. And based on just the sound, I threw the grenade and it worked. So that's how realistic this game can be. And later up, I ended up wiping the whole four-man squad by myself based on just the sound cues. So these physics-based mechanics make PUBG one of the most immersive virtual battle royale games available. However, there is still a downside to it, as the game mechanics are pretty hard to learn for the beginners, and also it requires high-speed internet connection for a smooth gameplay. So if it's not available, then player might face lagging, high ping issues, which will affect the gameplay. And like, trust me, it is most irritating when you are playing game. So for this, the game developers could improve it by optimizing its performance for lower end devices, ensuring that all players can have a smooth experience. Moreover, by introducing more tutorials or training mode for beginners will help ease new players into the game. However, if we take an overall look of this game, so it's a really great game with a very bright future, and esports is like booming everywhere. For example, last year, 2024, PUBG World Cup had a staggering 3 million US dollar prize pool, and which is insane for a game. And as per the reports of PR Newswire, global market of VR is anticipated to reach 120.5 billion US dollars by 2026, which is 42.2% growth as compared to 2018. And PUBG, being one of the MMOGs, also plays a very important role in this market. At the end, if we look at PUBG as a VR game, though it can't be played with VR headset, but it is still an excellent example of virtual simulation game, as it immerses player in a fully virtual game, providing an engaging and interactive experience. The game's realistic graphics, strategic elements, and constant updates make it a standout in the virtual gaming genre. This could be more clearly understood by a fun fact. So, in India, the game was banned in 2020 due to its wrong influence on kids, as the game was really realistic and kids used to replicate the acts in real life. However, after 2 years, PUBG re released as BGMI with some changes, one of which I would like you to hear.
This is a simulation game set in a virtual world and does not represent real life. Please play in moderation, take frequent breaks, and play responsibly.
So this announcement was added in the BGMI, and it was done before the start of each match, and you can get an idea that how influential VR can be. So this was my overall review for the game, and thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day ahead.